Good morning, Coachella Valley, and thank you for joining us for NBC Palm Springs Midday. I'm Joe Smith. I'm glad you're here. We're going to check in with Jerry. He's so excited because we are going to actually break another record.
Well, a couple days away from tying a record set back in the 50s of how many triple-digit days we picked up in a single year. And we could do that. More than that coming up in the full forecast. A lot of sunshine today, as you probably are well aware of. We'll see plenty of that over the next couple of afternoons, too. Temperatures are going to be above average again with the dry northeasterly flow. The Santa Ana winds drying out the air, so relative humidity is low. So triple digits moving into 110 territory beginning tomorrow. As far as today, we'll stop at 106 in Palm Springs with lots of sunshine, dry air mass. But what about the next couple of days? Are we going to see some double digits? We'll explore all that. Full forecast in minutes.
All right, Jerry, thank you. Now to our top story. A record-setting 3.7 million acres have burned in California in the wildfires this year. The Glass Fire and Zog Fire are adding to what is already a devastating wildfire season. More than 70,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. A red flag warning remains in effect for the region. The Glass Fire has tripled in size since it began Sunday, burning more than 36,000 acres with 0% containment. The fire wiped out a winery. 1,800 people have been forced to leave their homes, and about 5,000 others are under some form of evacuation warning. 3 people have died in the Zog Fire burning in Shasta County. It's now burned over 40,000 acres. Thousands are seeking emergency shelter. The cause of the fire is being investigated. With fires burning across the state, the next battle is the weather. Santa Ana winds will fan the flames, yet we're days away from the middle of the fire season. Our Kitty Alvarado has more on this exhausting fire season.
The Glass Fire, burning out of control in Napa and Sonoma counties, has burned homes, wineries, and vineyards to the ground. Among them, the century-old family vineyards of Craig Botello.
It's a cremation. The hill where the Rumbauer winery is, I've hunted that a lot. I know all the trees and area, and they were dissolved.
Still, with the fire raging around him, he will not evacuate. This video shows a Napa County Sheriff's deputy risking his life to evacuate people who stayed behind. Sonoma County Sheriff Sergeant Juan Valencia says his deputies had to go back and rescue people who refused to leave.
Unfortunately, we did have some people that stayed behind and might have been burned in some areas.
The fire broke out in the early morning hours on Sunday. By late afternoon, the Zog Fire in Shasta County was raging out of control. They're just 2 of nearly 30 major fires burning across California. CAL FIRE Riverside County Captain Fernando Herrera says a Santa Ana wind event and critical fire weather have created a perfect storm.
Anything that sparks a fire will turn into an
Over 200 CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Department personnel are among the 18,000 firefighters battling the record-breaking fires. He fears the heat and Santa Ana winds will make the current fires explode. New fires grow faster and further strain fire resources.
Once again, we'll be at a critical point where resources won't be sufficient to cover those initial attack fires that we get every single day. There seems to be no end to it.
Alex Tardy, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in San Diego, says California has broken a record above 110 degrees this year, and that heat is creating endless fuel for fires.
These are unprecedented extreme temperatures we've seen over the course of 2 to 3 months now. Drier conditions that we've ever seen before, not in terms of drought, but in terms of the vegetation.
And if we don't see rain within the next few months,
we're going to be looking at these critical, dangerous fire conditions where any fire that starts will be explosive and aggressive and spread rapidly as we go through November.
Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
Evacuations were ordered Monday after a 230-acre brush fire ignited in the Angeles National Forest north of Santa Clarita. The Martindale fire exploded to 200 acres in less than 30 minutes Monday. This morning, it's 40% contained. Excessive heat and wind is making the firefight tough on firefighters.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
More than 1 million people have died from the coronavirus worldwide, marking another milestone during the pandemic. The United States has the most deaths of any country at 205,000. This means the U.S. is accounting for 1 in every 5 deaths worldwide, even though Americans are just 4% of the world's population. Experts say deaths could double globally before an effective vaccine is available. Here are the COVID-19 numbers for Riverside County and the Coachella Valley. The county does not update numbers on the weekend, so this is a 3-day total. 754 new cases were reported countywide, 82 of those cases here in the valley, 17 new deaths in the county, 3 in the valley. And Governor Newsom says the state as a whole is trending downward in case numbers and hospitalizations. Now more counties are moving to the next phase of reopening.
We anticipate a number of counties moving and progressing into new tiers, which is a very encouraging sign. You've seen just in the last few weeks, we had 38 counties in purple, 9 counties in red. You could see today 25 counties in purple. Less good news, more in red, more in orange. We anticipate some more counties tomorrow moving into yellow.
The county tier status updates will be announced later today. President Trump announces a new rapid COVID test will be available across the country. The test uses a small piece of cardboard, a special liquid, and a nasal swab to get results in minutes. Officials say it will normally be administered by a professional, but it can also be self-administered. The president says the new test will be distributed in the coming weeks. A former member of the White House coronavirus task force says President Trump pushed the CDC to downplay the risks of COVID-19 when it came to opening schools. Olivia Troy says Vice President Mike Pence, Chief of Staff, pushed staffers to find data that would show schools should reopen. Troy says Trump was insistent on opening schools to make his response to the pandemic seem more effective.
He told the governors, you need to open the schools. You need to try to make it seem like everything's okay when in reality it's not. And I think it's because this response has been so broken along the way that it was anything to tell anything but the truth.
The entire situation, quote, a nightmare. She resigned from Pence's staff last month. Now the CDC is encouraging people to stay home during Thanksgiving and the largest shopping day this year. Instead of gathering around the table, the CDC suggests everyone should maybe get around the computer screen. But if you do travel, they believe you should be aware of increased risk in getting and spreading the virus. And as for Black Friday, they say you should avoid it. Fall allergies are here, and doctors say the symptoms can be similar to those of COVID-19. Overlapping symptoms include cough, fatigue, headache, sore throat, shortness of breath, and congestion. Other allergy symptoms include itchy eyes and sneezing. If you've experienced allergies in the past this time of year, it's likely to be allergies again. But if you're unsure, you can get tested for COVID. Let's take a live look outside right now, and this is from our Agua Caliente Casino cam. And Jerry, it's a beautiful day outside, clearer skies than we've seen in some time. It's still a bit hazy out there, but again, triple digits.
I haven't seen a cloud in a long time. That may change this weekend, though. More on that coming up. Temperatures are going to be up there. Matter of fact, beginning tomorrow and running for 3 days total. We'll see 110s around the Coachella Valley. Will we set records? Yeah, it's iffy. I mean, Palm Springs, kind of far away from that 112 and 115 record set back in 1980. But we're looking at Wednesday's number in thermal. The record is 109. We're set to hit 110. So we could set a few records over the Southwest as we move into the next few afternoons. 97 degrees right now, although we did already peak at 100 degrees. It'll move back up, of course, over the next couple of hours. 10% relative humidity, very dry outside. That pattern will continue as well. Temp check time in and around the valley, 69 degrees at Big Bear. It began in the 30s earlier this morning, 87 Joshua Tree, already 100 degrees at Desert Hot Springs. Indio, 99 in Sunshine. Rancho Mirage, 100. Cathedral City, you have 97. Clear skies. That'll be the case over the next few days. Radar, not much going on there for the next several days. A dry weather pattern will continue for us in Southern California. 104 to 107. That's our range of highs today for the valley as high pressure strengthens beginning tomorrow. That's when we see the 110s return to the valley. Right now, a Santa Ana wind flow, although weak, is with us. That keeps the dew points down. And because of that, we have a red flag warning still in effect for the Inland Empire, area mountains, even the San Gorgonio Pass until 5 o'clock today. So dew points are around 30 degrees by the middle of the afternoon, and temps that'll be, in the upper 10 department. 106 specifically today for Palm Springs and our Comfort Air 3-day forecast. Then, we hit that 110 mark Wednesday, Thursday, and again on Friday before the numbers back off a little bit. How far will they back off? I'll have the answer this half hour.
Thanks, Jerry. Governor Newsom approves a new law prompted by the helicopter crash that killed NBA legend Kobe Bryant and 8 others. It will be a crime for first responders to take unauthorized photos of victims at a scene of an accident or crime. Offenders could face fines up to $1,000. This after 8 LA County Sheriff's deputies were accused of taking and sharing graphic photos from the crash scene. The new law goes into effect January 1st. A woman is dead after being run over by a tractor while she slept on a beach in Oceanside. Now, according to police, the tractor operator was working as part of a dredging project. He was backing up into a safety zone when the accident happened. Officers said the driver was very shaken. A beachgoer said he saw the woman before the accident.
There was something going on with her, so it could have been I don't know. It's hard to judge, but she was very thin and fragile. She was leaning up against the wall, like ready to pass out. And there was a gentleman that asked her if she was okay, and she seemed to say, "I'm okay."
The unidentified victim is believed to be in her 40s or 50s. She was taken to the San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office for further investigation. A viewer reached out to us after receiving a ballot request form from another state. He says he's already registered in Riverside County and wanted to know if this was considered voter fraud. It's a topic discussed frequently over the last few weeks. Our Olivia Sandusky investigates.
I got this. It says it's an official Republican Party notice from the Ohio Republican Party.
David Pallas is a registered Democrat who hasn't lived in Cleveland for over 35 years. This week, an absentee ballot request form arrived at his Palm Springs address.
Everyone's concerned about fraud and people voting more than once. And here I've gone through 8 elections, presidential elections, since I've left the state, and I've never got anything like this, and now all of a sudden I got it.
The nonpartisan group Common Cause says this isn't a form of fraud because it's not an official ballot. Instead, it's an application sent by a political campaign.
Parties on both sides are trying to hit as many voters as they possibly can to get everybody registered to vote because they want to maximize turnout for their political party.
By law, voters are required to cast a ballot in the area they consider their permanent address. And while registering to vote in multiple states is not a crime, voting twice is.
There are systems in place to make sure that people don't vote twice. And if they're given the opportunity to, they should absolutely not take it, because they'll be committing a felony.
The Riverside County Registrar of Voters says election mail will most likely increase over the next few weeks and recommends getting rid of paperwork that doesn't apply to you.
I would say shred it. If you receive things that you're unsure about that are in regards to your voter registration, we would direct them to call our main line. We can tell them what they're registered for here in our county if they live here, and then go from there.
That was Olivia Sandusky reporting. Remember, if you have a story idea you'd like us to look into, just email us at nbcpalmsprings.com. Up next, tonight, President Trump and former Veep Joe Biden will face off in the first presidential debate, a preview coming up. And as we head to break, let's take a live look from our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera. Look at those beautiful palm trees.
Joslyn Center is a treasured oasis for our Valley seniors where they stay healthy and engaged. Join NBC Cares Sandy Newton and Dale Johannes for a unique fundraising experience on Saturday, October 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Help keep Jocelyn in motion.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
If you've been waiting to see President Trump go head-to-head with Joe Biden, well, tonight's the night. The first presidential debate is happening this evening in Cleveland. Tracy Potts has a preview.
Here's the stage hosting the first face-off between President Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden.
I am looking very forward to the debate.
But unlike Biden, the president says he's not drilling down on policies or thick briefing books. His practice for this debate largely here, being quizzed by reporters in the White House briefing room. Biden says he's doing his research here, reviewing the president's tweets.
I'm prepared to go out and make my case as to why I think he's failed.
Failed businesses, a decade of zero taxes, and years of mounting debt reported by the New York Times are sure to come up as President Trump takes the stage.
It's a national security issue. You could potentially have a sitting president who owes hundreds of millions of dollars. The American people are going to want to know who he owes that money to.
Both candidates trying to predict each other's strategy.
He's always very different when he comes out. So I have no idea what's coming out.
My guess is it's going to be just straight attack. They're going to be mostly personal. That's the only thing he knows how to do.
They'll be asked about their records, the Supreme Court, including the president's new nominee, coronavirus, the economy, race and urban violence, and the integrity of this election. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
And this reminder, you can tune in to the debate tonight right here on NBC Palm Springs at 6 o'clock. We'll have an hour-long preview at 5. This election year, the normal poll working training comes with sanitation and COVID-19 safety training as well. Poll workers in every state are undergoing the new training. In addition to typical poll worker duties, workers will also facilitate social distancing guidelines and sanitize every machine after use. Officials say these new regulations could cause a backup for the in-person voters.
We just want to make sure that each voter feels that they're safe, they can come vote in person. We are going to take the precautions needed, so it's going to end up in longer lines as well as a longer time at the polls.
Now, traditionally, poll workers have been retired seniors, but this year, recruiting offices have noticed millennials are stepping up to fill in while seniors opt to stay home and stay safe. Using Twitter, President Trump again questions the accuracy of counting mail-in ballots. Yesterday, the president said the returned ballots cannot be accurately counted and, quote, many things are already going wrong. Twitter fact-checked the post since it didn't include any evidence for the allegations. Its response appears to be a clickable line: learn how to vote by mail is safe and secure. Supreme Court Justice nominee Amy Coney Barrett is making the rounds today on Capitol Hill. Judge Barrett arrived on Capitol Hill this morning, guided by Vice President Mike Pence and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. She met with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell as well. The Senate Judiciary Committee is expected to begin deliberating Judge Barrett's nomination October 12th. One of the grand jurors in the Breonna Taylor case wants people to know what happened in the grand jury room. Attorney Kevin Glogauer says his client is concerned about how the state's attorney general's office characterized what happened. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron says he will release a recording of the grand jury proceedings tomorrow, but the juror's attorney says only portions of the grand jury process are recorded.
If you look at the two different statements from the Attorney General's office, they're telling you that they haven't told you everything, and they're indicating that they may not have actually presented what I would say is all the evidence. But we're not going to know that until we hear the proceedings, until, if possible, the court agrees with our position and allows the grand jurors to discuss freely, what happened, what was presented, etc.
Cameron says the only charge he recommended to the grand jury is wanton endangerment for shots that went into Breonna Taylor's neighbor's home. Many people who rely on public transportation often have a long walk to get to the nearest bus stop, and sometimes they wait to transfer between buses, and that takes even longer. Now, to help, Sunline Buses has introduced a new service. Our Regina Urita explains.
Guillermo Gonzalez takes the bus every day from North Shore near the Salton Sea to Coachella for work. He says his daily commute has always been a burden for him.
In North Shore, the bus comes around every 3 hours.
In parts of the far eastern valley, roads do not have a proper pedestrian walkway. Gonzalez says he has to walk in unsafe areas to get to a bus stop.
They're not at every corner. The bus stops are far from my home.
To solve some of these concerns, Sunlight Transit partnered with local legislators to test a new service. It's part public transportation, part rideshare service.
The goal is that this ride would be available within 15 minutes of the time that you requested the ride. And then it would take you to bus stops within the defined geofence zone. And that way people could access Sunline's fixed route network.
A service that will help passengers who walk miles and miles for a bus stop. Now they can go to grocery stores, libraries, any nearby location to board a bus like this one. But unlike Uber and Lyft, this service will cost about the same as the average bus rates.
We're trying to make, commuting and taking public transit more convenient.
The service is launching in January in Coachella, North Shore, and Desert Hot Springs. And so far will only work if you have a smartphone with the app and if you're able to get service. To address issues with frequency on regular bus routes, Mayor Hernandez is bringing in 4 new buses.
The purpose of the purchase of those buses is to actually ensure that the frequency of when the buses come is actually reduced.
For NBC Palm Springs, I'm Regina Urita.
And as we head to break, let's take a live look right now from our Agua Caliente Casino camera in downtown Palm Springs. Jerry's got your AccuWeather forecast up next.
Hey, the good Tuesday morning. Clear skies, agua caliente casino, Cam. Yeah, a lot of blue above us like the last couple of days, and this ain't going to change anytime soon. A lot of clear skies through most of the rest of the week. Forecast yesterday brought us into the triple digits easily. 108, 96 is where we should be. Yeah, not going to see that anytime soon. 100 degrees at Desert Hot Springs, 91, 29 Palms, Yucca Valley 88, and sunshine 95 at Cabazon. The number we're watching each and every day is Palm Springs temp. 101, so another triple-digit day. More on that coming up. Radar and satellite all quiet over the southwest. We did begin with a little bit of fog along the coast. That will not return tomorrow. High pressure, like yesterday, keeping those numbers above average. Today, 104 to 107, the range for the Coachella Valley under lots of sunshine and kind of a weak Santa Ana flow into the Coachella Valley. Strongest winds over the Little San Bernardino Mountains, downslope winds into the valley. That's drying out the air even more. Single-digit relative humidity expected this afternoon. But the winds will back off later today. But because of the winds and low relative humidity, that elevates the fire danger. So we have red flag warnings in effect for the San Gorgonio Pass into the Inland Empire. Nothing for the Coachella Valley, although the fire danger does remain high. So today, 105s, 106s for the Coachella Valley, 97 sunshine for 29 Palms, and in the upper 90s at Banning, Beaumont, and Cabazon. Now that high pressure expands its territory and strengthens even more, adding a few more degrees. And you thought we'd be over with the 110s. Yeah, not the case. 107 to 111, that'll be tomorrow, last day of the month, under lots of sunshine, and again, dry northeasterly flow into the area. Specifically tomorrow, 109 for Indio, 110s at Palm Desert and Palm Springs, and even 100 at Yucca Valley, and around that 100-degree mark, even around the San Gorgonio Pass. And we'll stay there for the first couple days of the month of October, but when will temperatures begin to come down? Well, we'll chip away at them on Sunday. Still above average in the hundreds. We'll have kind of a flow out of the south and some high clouds begin to move in. A little bit of moisture in the upper levels, but that's about it. So yeah, we're still going to be in the triple digits come Monday. 105s and 106s for the Coachella Valley. Like I said, lots of sunshine today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, even Saturday. Finally, Sunday, we begin to see a little bit of cloud cover, but that's above 25,000 feet, some cirrus clouds bringing us filtered sunshine. And as far as the surface moisture, 30-degree dew points today and tomorrow, 20s as you move into Thursday, Friday. Air quality index moderate for the Coachella Valley. We have 18E, which by later today could become a named tropical storm as it moves its way to the east. Marie is the next name on the list. As I mentioned, we hit triple digits today. I moved that number to 133 triple-digit days this year. 2 away from tying that record of 135 set back in the 50s. Here's your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. 106 today and then 110s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
In this morning's Showbiz Report, The Boys in the Band starts streaming on Netflix tomorrow. The characters are all played by openly gay actors. So what does this mean for The Boys in the Band? Manny the Movie Guy has the story.
Run. Waste. And why?
Let's begin with you, Mr. Jem. Michael, the host who spends and drinks too much, and perhaps a reluctant Catholic. What does the boys in the band mean to you?
Oh, it means that for all of us in different ways, life is a journey of learning to love and accept and be exactly who you are. And only by doing so can you love and accept others for who they are.
This old college friend of mine is in town, and he's stopping by for a fast drink on his way to dinner somewhere, but he's straight, so straight.
What about you, Mr. Brian? The straight Gus, the meaning of the boys in the band.
I think the meaning that I take away from watching this film and working on it with these guys is all the characters are searching for love and connection and communication and to be seen and to be heard and acknowledged.
Hey, everybody.
And what about you, Mr. Michael, the librarian who allows Emery with his Uncle Tom digs? What does the boys in the band mean to you?
I want people to know that there is now a new access to gay characters. There's also you can have a new, fresh opinion about boys in the band.
Besides, I had to come in town for a birthday party anyway, right?
Oh, you had to remind me.
When I look at it in terms of our history, it is about the cost of oppression and what it can do to people and this group of friends who are family, who are there for each other through the good and the bad, but who in some ways are doomed to repeat this night over and over again unless something changes.
You understand that, don't you, Hank?
Sure. Any freedom or openness I feel as living as a gay man came from men like this, from this movie, who, when it was written 50 years ago, were suffering the oppression of the society they felt around them.
This is gonna be fun. It is a story about society shaming others and what the cost of that is and how it handicaps people from contributing what they have to offer to their communities. But it also is a story about the strength of gay people, that we can also be proud even in our messiness, that even with that messiness, we are still entitled to empathy, sympathy, compassion.
Oh, there's nothing quite as good as feeling sorry for yourself, is there?
Nothing.
Mary, take me home. These queens are crazy.
And coming up after the break, in your health today, new research suggests more women are turning to marijuana to get through menopause.
In Your Health Today, new research suggests more women are turning to marijuana to get through menopause. Now, in the study of 230 women, more than half said they struggled with hot flashes, insomnia, or other bothersome symptoms. About a quarter of these women said they were currently using marijuana to manage the symptoms. Another 10% said they would consider trying it. Now, doctors say menopause symptoms could take a toll on a woman's heart. Researchers say women with multiple and severe symptoms had a significantly higher risk for heart disease and stroke. Supplementing with calcium and vitamin D did not reduce those risks. Symptoms that trigger the added heart risk are night sweats, hot flashes, dizziness, forgetfulness, fatigue, and heart racing. That might be a reason why women are now turning to marijuana. And that's what's happening in Your Health Today.
In consumer news, tomorrow is the deadline for those who did not receive stimulus benefits for their children. Those who were shut out of those $500 dependent payments have until September 30th to submit their information to the IRS using the agency's non-filers tool. You can find it on the IRS website. People who are eligible include those receiving Social Security, veterans, or railroad retirement benefits. A new COVID-19 testing system is about to take off at major American airports. What that means for pandemic-wary passengers hoping to fly the friendly skies. NBC's Kerry Sanders has the details.
As much as airlines have done to protect passengers, including wipe-downs and mask mandates, airports still look empty because they mostly are. Nationwide passenger traffic down 68% year over year. But now a U.S. first as Tampa International Airport hopes to win back passenger confidence with COVID testing right in the main terminal. The voluntary tests for passengers about to leave or who have just landed.
Hi, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane Matheny headed from Tampa to Utah, among the first to get the rapid antigen tests here. Results back in 15 minutes.
Why did you decide to take the test?
Well, I would like to know the results. You know, I'm all for the testing to find out if I'm exposing others.
By the time Mary Jane was through TSA security, the nurse had called her with the results. Her test, negative. If a passenger tests positive before flying, they're told don't get on the plane. And if they test positive after landing, everyone else on the plane is notified they may have been exposed.
If a passenger tests positive after we notify the Department of Health, what we undertake is what's called contact tracing.
We got to try to get out of this hole. Anything we can do to get out of this hole safely is what we want to do.
Costs for the antigen test with 88% accuracy, $57. The more involved PCR test with 95% accuracy, $125. But those results are delayed for 48 hours. The tests are a passenger expense.
They should do it free. I mean, it should be part of your ticket price.
I took the 15-minute test. Uncomfortable, but it didn't hurt.
It's natural to cough?
It's natural to cough. He's negative.
Other airports now watching what they're starting here as the nation's air travel industry remains in a tailspin.
A sign this is expanding. United Airlines, October 15th, will begin offering these rapid tests to passengers traveling from San Francisco to Hawaii, so they don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks when they land. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Tampa.
Amazon is launching a personal shopper service for men. It's an expansion of the existing personal shopper by Prime wardrobe, originally aimed at women. An Amazon stylist chooses the items that match customers' style and fit preferences. They're shipped on a monthly basis to try on and keep or return. The men's service will include brands like Adidas, Levi's, and Amazon Essentials. Some people like this. It's National Coffee Day, and restaurants and convenience stores are offering coffee discounts. Starbucks kicked off things a day early with the start of its month-long Starland game for Starbucks Rewards members. 7-Eleven has any size coffee for $1 through its app, while Dunkin' is offering a free medium hot or iced coffee with any purchase. The best deal, though, is at Krispy Kreme. Everyone gets a free coffee with no purchase necessary. As we head to break, let's take a live look again from our Walter Clark Highway 111 camera. Jerry's up next with your forecast.
Hey there, good Tuesday late morning. Again, another day of clear skies and blue above us on our Agua Caliente Casino cam. Beautiful look. Temps are going to be up there again today, above average by about 10 degrees. Yesterday we did that. 108 to 96 is where we should be in Palm Springs. And we're going to see that over the next couple of days. Matter of fact, getting hotter as we move into tomorrow. Right now, triple digits just across that borderline last hour. 92 degrees at 29 Palms, 96 Cabazon, 72 at Big Bear. Big Bear began just a few degrees above freezing earlier today, but rebounded nicely. A lot of sunshine up there. Radar and satellite imagery quiet in Southern California. Sunshine for just about everyone in the Southland. High pressure keeping us above average again today. 104 to 107 the range of highs. We have a kind of a weak Santa Ana wind flow into Southern California, drying out the air. And the gusty wind's not really affecting the Coachella Valley. It's mostly over the Little San Bernardino Mountains, and those downsloping winds into the Coachella Valley are drying the air out. So we have single-digit relative humidity for many of us in the valley today. And because of the winds and, of course, low relative humidity, the fire danger goes up. So we do have that red flag warning again today, although it expires at 5 o'clock for the San Gorgonio Pass into the Inland Empire, some of the mountains, too, getting some of that dry air and wind gusts. So 106s for many of us in the valley today. 97 degrees at 29 Palms, a sunny 97 also at Banning, 99 for Cabazon today. Now, things change a little bit over the next following afternoons. High pressure expands, strengthens, and those numbers move up, not only for us in Southern California, but much of the West Coast states. For us, it's a return to the 110s as we end a month and move into another one. Lots of sunshine, still a northeasterly flow into Southern California. So tomorrow, 109s and 110s for many of us in the Coachella Valley. And basically that will stay that way for the first 2 days of October. Numbers back off slightly. We're looking ahead to Sunday here. 105 to 108, still above average. Mostly sunny skies. Some high clouds begin to move in. But yeah, those temps are going to be above average for the first full week of October. At least it looks that way right now. So 105s, 106s on Monday as temperatures slowly back off, but still stay above average. A lot of sunshine today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, even Saturday. Looks like a totally clear day. Second half of Sunday, some moisture above 25,000 feet will bring a little bit of high cloud cover into the area. So those cirrus clouds will bring us some filtered sunshine and surface moisture really dry. And that trend will continue at least through this coming weekend. Okay, as far as our air quality index in the Coachella Valley and much of Riverside County, we're looking okay, moderate here, but once you get into the Inland Empire, again, it worsens. We have unhealthy for sensitive groups when you get to Riverside and more to the west. As far as the tropics are concerned, getting a little busy in the northeast Pacific. We have 18E, which is a tropical depression, and probably by just late today, it'll be given a name as it strengthens, as it moves its way to the west. Marie is our next named storm. Okay, 133 days as of today of triple-digit temperatures in Palm Springs, 2 away from tying the record of 135 set back in 1958, and we're not going to stop there. We're going to keep going. Comfort Air, 70 forecast, 106 today, a string of 110s, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but still triple digits into early next week.
Readers, a chance to share some of your time with stories that can help children learn English. Research tells us if a child is not reading by grade level by third grade, they will drop out of high school. Here this morning is the founder and executive director of Read With Me, Roberta Klein. It is a pleasure to have you with us. This is really important. I want you to explain, because this is a very different kind of reading program.
Yes, well, we are tutoring children who live in poverty and come from homes where no English is, or very limited English is spoken. And we have the children read to us, and we help them with pronunciation and comprehension. The volunteers can see the children improving, and the teachers love it, because there's no way they can possibly give individual attention to all the children in that class. So there's a huge connection between poverty, crime, and lack of education, lack of fluency in English.
So Rita, give us a little bit of history. How did you come to start this program?
My husband Clay and I moved down here in 2003, and we have always been involved in giving back in the community. So we asked a number of leaders, what's the greatest need? And the superintendent of schools in the Far East Valley said, we need English-speaking role models. Our kids never hear English except in the classroom. The first school was Mecca. And so we started recruiting in 2004 and started actually busing volunteers 5 days a week to Mecca Elementary School in 2005. Over the years, we now go to 14 different schools here in the Valley.
So it's very different this time around, though, because the teachers are not able to go into the schools, but have to do it online. So that presents another layer of challenge.
Down here, all 3 school districts, it's all distance learning. And so our challenge has been, how can we still keep the program going when the volunteers can only tutor remotely? And the schools have had a huge challenge, because there are connectivity issues of the kids don't live in an area where there isn't enough bandwidth for them to be able to even attend school.
And so if somebody is interested in participating and to help children learn English, how can they go about that?
Well, you can go on our website, which is www.readwithmevolunteers.com, or call our office. Right now, opening on Monday, October 5th, 3 different volunteer resource centers that they can call, make a reservation, and come in to learn what the program is about. If you want to do this, you have to register and agree to a background check. This isn't a way to improve your computer skills. And if you can do email, we're making this so that you can learn to do this and tutor online. You're connected with a specific school and a specific teacher, and we try and match up the days and times that you're available with when the teacher needs the volunteer.
Well, certainly there is a need for this, and we hope that we can get people who have the time and who want to help in this way to sign up and go to the meeting, and they can learn more. Roberta, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. We really appreciate your helping us and the children.
And keep it right here. We'll be right back.
NBC's Songland is one of my favorite shows, and one of my favorite winners, Greg Scott, is joining us right now to tell us a little bit about what he's got going on and that miracle of his own. Welcome, Greg.
Hey, thanks for having me, Sandy.
So good to see you. And, you know, I know, of course, we're locked down, we're in a pandemic, but how fortunate for you that you have your own home studio so you can continue to create music.
Yes, definitely feeling blessed that I made the investment when I did.
Well, let's go back to Songland because that was a huge win, such an exciting moment. We know you're a California boy. We're so proud that you brought home such great accolades. And like I said, a miracle of your own. So tell me a little bit about that song and its connection to the Olympics and what you're looking forward to now in 2021.
Yeah, the song was originally written just out of inspiration of my co-writer and I's lives of just going out and trying to get what you dream of and not giving up and, you know, basically taking all the risk. And it just ended up being perfect and tying in with the Olympics. And who knew that it would be chosen to be the theme song. So yeah, it was an incredible experience.
So exciting. And then of course the pandemic hit, so the Olympics were delayed. But the good news for you is that your song will continue to be the theme song for 2021.
Yeah, that was definitely the concern. It was, I mean, this year for everybody, you know, has been up and down and lots of gut punches with a lot of misinformation. So I've gotten a little numb to it at this point, but we are so grateful that they're still going to use it because it's life-changing.
Absolutely. And I know that you warned me that we might hear in the background, you have two young boys who are being schooled, of course, remotely. Your wife has got school in session in another room. So how has your life changed during really this uncertain time?
You know, it has changed a lot. I'll say that. I'm used to traveling. I'm used to doing a lot of shows. I would perform at least 4 or 5 nights a week. So that has stopped. So I miss the energy from actual humans in the room and, you know, getting hugs and high fives and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, but, you know, we're pivoting. That's been the word of the year. And I've turned my studio into my performance area. So I do a lot of shows in here, and I'm doing a live festival for a charity event in the UK that's going to come out next month. So, you know, just trying to figure out how to keep connected. You know, thank God for social media because that's what we got, you know.
Absolutely. And I know you do have a new single too.
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, that single's out. It's everywhere.
Nice.
I'm super proud of it.
That is wonderful. And have you found that your songwriting has changed a little bit because of this pivot and this new kind of world we're experiencing?
Definitely. You know, the timing of it is actually is good in a sense because it's really having people think inward and work on themselves. And my music has always been a lot about, you know, inner thoughts and perseverance and fighting through, you know, trials and tribulations and people in my life. And, you know, my dreams, like dreaming of being an artist and being a, you know, a singer-songwriter is not easy. And I've taken my lumps, you know, so this gives me a chance for my music to speak to a larger audience and people can really relate at this point, you know?
Nice. And I read that you grew up, your dad was in the music business, so you kind of grew up in a studio like that, a rehearsal area. Are you finding your boys being inspired by your music now too?
Definitely. They come in here and always put on the headphones and act like they're playing. And, you know, they have music class now here on Zoom, and they always bring in some interesting instrument, and they're always like, where did you get these? Where do you have these? Where are you getting this instrument? Where did you get that kabasa from? You know?
Nice.
So yeah, they're loving it. And my youngest, he plays drums and he loves it. He's like a monster on it. So,
well, a whole new generation. And Greg, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. And we're so happy to know you're continuing with your music. You've done a great pivot, and we'll look forward to that miracle in Tokyo 2021, and of course all the music up until then as well.
Thank you for having me, Sandy. NBC, let's go.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us.